to LA with it. I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tenant. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And
Hello and welcome everyone to Lala, a little bit of everything's channel. So we're going to be doing a cooking vlog for today's content. So as always, before we get started, make sure to hit on that like button, make sure to subscribe, and make sure to also leave a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. So for today's video, we're going to be doing some yellow rice and beans with some fried chicken. So I do hope that you guys enjoyed this vlog. Let's go ahead and get right into this video. Okay, so we're going to start by putting some oil in this pot, just enough to coat the bottom. And then we're going to add a little bit of tomato sauce. I typically just use half a can of the tomato sauce. And then I go ahead and add about half a cup of water into that because you don't want the oil to cook out the tomato sauce. So just stir it up a little bit. So in this section, I forgot to press record when I was adding the seasoning. So we're going to add some garlic powder, some adobo, a little bit of salt, not too much. We're going to add a packet of sazon, as you see right there. And then we have about 2 spoons of that sofrito. Now we're going to add the oregano. Now when it comes to adding the seasonings, you just want to go back and forth strokes at least 3 times. You know, growing up in a Hispanic household, we measure with our eyes and our nose. Right now we're going to add some onions and scallions in there. Now you can add anything you want. You could put peppers, you could put ham, you could put salchicha, or in other words, you know, the Vienna sausage in here. A lot of different things you can put in. And now we're just gonna add our beans. So we already pre-washed already. So I have some Goya red beans here. Go ahead and toss that. So you want to make sure you rinse the beans before you add them in there. Mix that in there. So we're gonna just let that simmer just a little bit. Probably throw a little bit more seasonings on there, just a little bit more. So remember when I said like the back and forth strokes? This is exactly what I mean, just the back and forth strokes. So we're just gonna add just a tiny bit more seasoning this time around. And then we're just gonna stir it up. So yes, you want to taste it along the way as you go, just to make sure that the seasonings is right. Okay, so now we're going to add about 2 spoons of the olives. It just helps brings out the flavors in the rice and beans just a bit more. So we're just going to let that simmer a little bit. We're going to go ahead and clean our rice. So we have some brown rice here. So we're going to do about 2 cups of this. So we have our little strainer here. This is the bowl we're going to put it in, but I'm just going to measure it in this cup. Alright, so we washed our rice. Now we're getting ready to go ahead and add that in the pot.
Do you smell it? That smell. Kind of smelly smell. A smelly smell that smells. Smelly.
We got all our pea rice in there. So you want to make sure that you mix the rice and all those flavors and juices. Make sure you got all the rice covered. Okay, now we have that all stirred up. So we put our first cup of water. So once you mix the rice and all those juices and sauce, then we're going to add 2 cups of water. Second cup of water. So now we're just going to sprinkle just a little bit more seasonings because we added the water, so you want to make sure it keeps its flavor in there. Alright, so we're going to stir it up a little bit more, and then we're going to leave that on medium high. Let it boil out. You don't want to cover it just yet. Alright, so we're also going to add a little bit of cilantro in here too. Almost forgot about that step. You can add as much, as little as you want. So of course, just make sure you wash your hands before you touch the chicken and after you touch the chicken. Now we're just going to rinse the chicken with some cold water. Rinse it out, rinse it out, rinse it out. So that's how the rice kind of look. So you just want it to have just a little bit of liquid in it. So onto the rice now. So as you see, the water done boiled out. There's still just a little bit water there that's left, so you don't want it to be completely dried. You want to have some water still left in there, so that way you can cover it and it can all cook thoroughly. Put your aluminum foil on there, and you're going to cover it with the top. The reason for that, you want to make sure, okay, so the reason for that is you want to make sure it keeps it moist and steamy. So you just want to steam the rice up, make sure it's done evenly. Cover that, and then you're just going to lower the rice. Put it to like a 2, low medium. Okay, so now we have our chicken. We're just going to cut off all this white fat all over it. Okay, so it's time to prep the chicken. So I like to cut off all the fat, all that white stuff, all that yucky stuff. I like to cut that off. So we're going to cut all of that off of the both pieces of the chicken. And then after that, we're going to just chop the chicken into some pieces there. Okay, so now we have all the chicken cut up. So now the next step is I'm going to add some vinegar in the chicken, let that marinate a little bit, and then rinse it off. Okay, now it's time to add those seasonings and flavors to the chicken. So we're going to be using the same seasonings that we previously used with the rice. Add some oregano in there. Some black pepper. We're gonna put some adobo. garlic powder. Now, I don't like really touching chicken with the seasoning. Tends to stick on your hands, so I'll just use a little cane chili. I'm gonna mix it in there. I didn't realize that I wasn't recording in this section. Alright, so we had our flour, our egg, our panko. My bad, guys, I'm slacking. Didn't even press record, so I did all that. And this is what it's gonna look like, okay? Fried chicken ready. Didn't do that many pieces, it's just me. Alright, so that's how you want to look. So of course you want to make sure you got the flour, the egg, and then the panko. Flour, egg, and the panko. Repeat the process. That's how you get it to look like that. Okay? So now we got our frying pan. We're going to let this heat up a little bit. And then we're going to pour some oil in here. Okay. So we're going to put our oil in there. Alright, so now it's time for us to go ahead and throw the chicken inside the pot, let that fry up. So you want to give it 2 to 3 minutes on each side and then just keep turning it around. Make sure it's crunchy and cooked on the inside. If I'm honest with you guys, I really hate frying stuff, but I wanted some fried chicken, so... So now it's time for us to go ahead and flip that chicken, let the other side cook. So I like to poke the chicken a few times just to make sure it gets the oil to cook through and all of the meat is cooked thoroughly. Alright, so now we're going to check on the rice. Okay. Now we're just going to stir that real quick. Alright, so we're going to stir that now. Alright, so we stir the rice. So I'm just going to taste a little bit. And make sure it is thoroughly cooked. Alright, now you can take out the aluminum foil. So the cook time for the yellow rice and beans is typically about an hour to 10 minutes. Okay, so it looks like they're about done. Just want to make sure it's right on the inside. Making sure it's already cooked, so you could just remove them all. I'm gonna let this last one cook here. Let that drain out of the oils on a separate plate. I'll be right back. So the rice is done. So there you have it, guys. We are ready to dig in. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys would like to see me cook anything else, leave that in the comment section down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. Alright guys, so there you have it. We ready to eat.